Where are you on sunlight?
Haven't you heard? Vampires. Sparkling daylight now.
From the shadows to the light, we'll judge every fearsome sight. Gore and chills all in one night. Tune in now, it's pure delight. Rapid reviews, here we go. Quick and snappy, watch us flow. Scary movies, yes or no? Rapid reviews, steal the show.
Hello and welcome back to Rapid Reviews, and today a very special edition of Rapid Reviews because we're going to be talking about a movie that you won't have seen yet, but you can go and watch very, very shortly. This is a movie that came to me through someone that we know through the show, someone we know through social media, and he is the writer and director and creator of this movie. I'm not going to mess about and waste any time of his time to talk about his movie. I'm going to bring him straight on, and it's Alex from AMPFX Studios. Can't believe I got that wrong. Hi, Alex. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, brother. I'm good. I'm good.
Your movie blew me away. So you come on and we reviewed I Know What You Did Last Summer. And we spoke briefly about your movie then. And me and Mark said, look, I'd love to get a link. And within a couple of days, you sent me a link to the movie that's not out yet. And I didn't know what I was walking into. You told me it was an anthology, and you know I'm not the most kind to anthologies. And I was blown away at how you tied everything together, the fact that every single segment that you'd done was so different. And elevator pitches it's a hit. I absolutely adore it. You've done such a good job.
That's so awesome, man. Coming from you guys, like I know how critical you are with stuff, so that's so awesome to hear, man.
I've got so many questions. The first question I want to ask you is like, how did you come up with the idea of the wraparound to tie each segment together? Because that's so clever, and I've never seen that done before that way.
Uh, Honestly, if I'm not 1,000% sure of like how it came to me. It might have been a shower thought one day. You know what I mean? But yeah, just working in the film industry, uh, everybody's always familiar with the term, elevator pitch. Everybody's been told, oh, give me the elevator pitch of something. And these stories, they're all, I think the longest script is Krampus, obviously, with that one coming in about 13, 14 minutes long. Um, but like they're all 2 to 3 pages. So to me, they were the perfect elevator pitch, right? Like
Yeah.
some of these go on to be longer movies, like Skin Book, for instance, that leads itself to a full on, that could be a series, honestly, on FX or something, put police procedural type or something like that, with some horror thrown in. Um, and then, they were just the perfect little condensed little stories that I was just like, that they're perfect. They're elevator pitches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like
And
the guy who plays Bo is so good. Like he's so
right.
entertaining and engaging. And from the first time he gives a pitch and it, it ends and he gets kind of shot down in flames and the executive or the producer leaves the elevator. Like from that moment on, I was invested. And did you ever write an end for the half a pitch? Is there an ending to that?
So here's my thing. That is the one segment that I did not write. That was written by, or it was just a concept. Her name's Anissa Matlock. She came up with that. She was going to be my first AD. She was my first choice. But I think it was because she's like SAG now. She couldn't work on it, or there was some sort of something involved that, she couldn't be involved. She wanted to, but she was like, well, I told her the idea and everything of what, what it was. I pitched her the idea, you know what I mean? She's like, well, that's kind of cool. I have this like half a story. And I was like, cool. Well, what is it? Maybe I could help you finish it. And then I was like, because I need like one more story. And she was like, well, it's only half of a story. And she told me it's about a girl just bursting out. Her version was she's coming out of a mausoleum, like she's bursting through a mausoleum. But just due to budgetary reasons, we couldn't shoot in a graveyard or anything. So I was just like, what if she's walled up in a wall of a house, and she burst through a wall? And she was like, oh wow, yeah, I like that change. And I was like, cool. So like, and she was like, but I don't know how to end it. And I was like, well, what if we don't end it? What if we just leave it as a cliffhanger? She's staring there looking at the key, and boom, phone call. And we're like, where's the phone ringing from? Boom, we hard cut to the elevator. The pitch is being cut in half because she's getting a phone call. So no, that never got an ending. It was never intended to get an ending. But I did do something kind of cool with the cast members, like throughout. They all got to read the script, obviously, and stuff like that. Well, we did little interviews with all the cast, and the consistent question that we asked was, where do you think that key goes to? Like the key that she spits up?
Yeah.
What do they think that goes to? And it was just cool seeing all the different clever answers that they all made up in their own heads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I instantly thought it was like to a door that maybe would lead her into another. Like I was expecting almost like a Saw escape room. That's where I thought that was going. And then when it cuts off
Mhm.
like so early, I was like, oh damn it. But that was the
Right?
hook I needed to then be fully invested. And the guy who plays Bo is so charismatic, and he's so like he just draws you in. Like he is. Everyone's known a guy like Bo that works somewhere that's always got a story, that's always got like time to talk to you, and like he's
Right.
really endearing as a character.
Yeah. So that's actually Bo was played by the amazing Victor Rivera, who's on a movie you guys have reviewed. Um, that he's in a crazy good age makeup, but he's one of the like he's the hippy dippy guy from Zombieland Double Tap that takes their guns away and melts them down. That's
No
Victor
way.
Rivera.
Oh
Yeah, he
wow.
is. Right. Our my makeup department had Darla Wigley and Alex Brejak, two great friends of mine. They did amazing age makeup on him, and me and Risa, the girl who ended up being my AD, we had a cast, kind of like just a read with him, because on Zoom one day, it was probably about 4 weeks out, and he was like, hey, I want to call you, and I want to pitch the character, because he's a method actor, which is great, right? I've never worked with a method actor before, which I was like, well, hell
How
yeah,
was
dude,
that? Because method is like once
It was
they're in
great.
and they stay there.
Yeah, honestly, I think it worked out because he was supposed to be a sweet old man, right? But if he was supposed to be a dirty serial killer or something, then it might have been a problem. But the fact that he's being a sweet old man, and like he called us, and like he was in character, and he was doing like the fumbling, bumbling around, like he didn't know how to make things work. Had the voice. He was referring to himself as Bo. He was asking us to refer to him as Bo, and at the end, he dropped character and was like, so what do you think? And he straightened back up and was like, so what do you think? And we're just sitting there looking at each other through our little Brady Bunch boxes. And we're like, that was fucking amazing, man. Please do that. And he was like, okay. And then from then on, I didn't spend any time with him or anything up until he came in, but he came through the door, hunched over, and was just doing that little, like he had a little shake, you know what I mean? Like old
Yeah.
men do. And then like he was licking his lips and just had just all the mannerisms of an old man, but he wasn't transformed into it yet. So like he introduced himself to everyone, the cast and crew, as Bo. some of the cast members never even saw him out of makeup, and so they only ever knew him as Bo. But no, that was just great. Like, Victor is an amazing good friend of mine. I will put him in any movie from here until I've worked with him a bunch of times, and I gladly will do it any other time because he's just one of those like, salt of the earth good guys.
Yeah, and it comes across on screen. I've got to say, casting across the board, you've done a really good job. Like, you've got a very extensive cast for a low budget movie. Like, every single segment has got its own cast, and some of the casts are pretty sizable. Like, you've got like 5 people in the ghost, like the Ghost Adventurers. It's almost a Ghost Adventurers but flipped on its head, and I love the concept of that. Like, that was the one that I like.
That's exactly
This is
it.
so cool, so cool. Like, the
That's
idea that
awesome.
the ghost hunting stuff is like just hurting and like causing trauma to these deceased people. Like, it's such a cool idea. Like, every single segment you've got is something I've never seen before, and you don't know how hard that is to, like, the amount of movies that we've watched and we've reviewed, to find something that doesn't just have one unique story, it's got 7.5, is almost impossible. And you've done it. The only one that's kind of even remotely like anything else is the Krampus story, but you've done that in a very different way, and that is probably my favorite segment. It's
Oh
so,
wow.
like, it it instantly gave me that Christmas feel, like the same sort of feeling I get from watching a movie like Gremlins. You've got all the lights and the tone and like the set and the
Mhm.
bookstore, like all of that was just so well shot and looked, it just made me feel Christmassy. And then you've got like, I don't know the best way to describe your Krampus. He came across as like almost like a sleazy Krampus. I really like him. He's cool.
Yeah, so I actually played the Krampus.
Was that you?
uh,
No way.
that was me. Yeah, yeah. I didn't really plan on it, but that's just another thing that like Risa, she's a really good friend of mine. Risa is like we've been friends for a long time, and she just I like she read the because she was going to be man, what's her character's name in that one? Karen, I believe. And so she knew she was going to be, and she was like, "Well, why don't you be Krampus?" And I was like, "I didn't even think about being Krampus." And then her husband read it, and he was like, "So Alex is going to be Krampus, right?" So I guess everybody just assumed because I'm a huge Krampus guy. Like I have a lot of books on the lore and Krampus masks. I even have sculpted uh, a bunch of my own different versions of them and tried and failed to open a little mask making business. But, you know, everybody just knew that I was a big Krampus guy. So they all just assumed. But yeah, I've definitely played it like you think that it's some metalhead in a costume just trying to be
Yeah.
sleazy. I wanted it
Yeah.
to be like that, but then the twist is, oh shit, this is real. He's real. He's supernatural. He can do what he wants. Uh, but yeah, the only thing that I did as far as like makeup wise, or I guess anything, is I made the body, the charred body in the basket.
That's cool as
I
well.
made that's my one. That's one like, yeah, that was the one that when we did a little cast and crew premiere at a theater. I rented out a theater and let everyone watch an even more rough version of this one. Which this one's going to get a few little things trimmed here and there, like a little bonsai tree. You know, we're just going to snip off a few little things. Um, but that got the best crowd reaction when she opens the basket and reveals the body in there. I don't know whose voice it was, but I heard somebody in the crowd just, oh, that's fucked up. So like that was the perfect reaction. I was sitting up on the balcony watching like a hawk, like a creep, you know what I mean? Just watching the crowd. So that
Yeah,
was a good moment. That was a good moment.
because you are a makeup effects artist. You're a very good makeup effects artist, but you didn't do the makeup effects art in this movie, which blew my mind. When I got to the
No,
credits, it's like, makeup effects, and I'm expecting Alex to be at the top, and Alex is not there at all.
No, see, that's my ultimate goal in life, is to be a director. I want to do, and it's not just horror that I want to do either, which is why I did this. This movie actually led to me getting to direct a Western right after that, which was pretty fucking cool. But yeah, no, man, like my ultimate goal is to be a director. So I have enough friends that are amazing makeup artists and are much better than me. You know what I mean? So of course I'm going to bring them in and let them shine. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, like taking a step back and just watching them create, and just me giving my 2 cents every now and then. And, if I see something, if I see something out of place, then I can, competently jump in and just, pluck that eyebrow or whatever else needs to be, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, when it came to, go ahead.
The makeup effects are there's makeup effects in every single segment of this, and they're varying degrees of makeup effects. From the first kind of, we get the werewolf transformation, sort of the slow burn, sort of, it's almost a showcase of how makeup is applied over time to show you the transition, which was really cool. And then you get further through and you get cuts and marks, and then you get the full dead body that you done. Like every single effect in this looked on point. Like they'd done such a good job of making things look real. Like some of the cuts, I was like, that looks gnarly, like really gnarly.
Yeah. That they, like, everybody's just amazing at their job. Like, that's really all. Like, and I told him too, I was just like, hey man, like, if that's the other thing too, is like, we never really stayed on set or for more than like 10 hours a day. Because just taking Skin Book, for example, the first segment, the werewolf one, we split that up into 2 days. But the first day was just all of her dialogue scenes of her just talking and all that before all of the blood. Or actually, no, we went all the way up to the blood. We cut there. We reconvened the next day. But the makeup artists were there for 5 hours doing the makeup before the crew even showed up. So, of course, they've already been there for 5 hours, right? Crew shows up. We shoot 4 shots. And it takes us 2 hours to do, maybe. And I go, okay, everyone, thank you. Thank you for a great day. We got it. It's in the can. And they all kind of looked at each other like, really? We're done? And I'm like, yeah, we're done. Because I'm not going to have us sitting, we're not going to be on set for 12 hours a day killing ourselves for this movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's one of my big pet peeves about being on set work, is just like, there's not much time to have a life outside of it. Especially if you're on a show for a really long time, and you're just day in, day out, 16 hours, 17 hours. If it's a big prosthetic heavy show, then sometimes this year I did a 20-hour day.
Wow.
Which still blows my mind every time I say it out loud. That was one a day where it was just a 7-hour makeup, full head to toe demon thing, which will also be coming out sometime in October. A TV show called Wicked. Wicked City. Wicked City. That's what it's called.
Okay, because you've done, like, lots of your work has appeared on screen. So you've done work for Civil War. I mean, you've done work for. You tell me. You've worked everywhere. Like, everyone who's watching this will have seen some of your practical effects work somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah. Hopefully. I mean, yeah. Civil War. That was a great time. Disney's Haunted Mansion that just came out, I think last year, I believe that finally came out. Yeah, I did some of the ghosts on that one that got close-ups, which was pretty freaking cool. All of that, though, and I still haven't been in any credits, though. Still haven't made it in any end credits, which is one of the downsides, and I guess a con of being in my department. Still haven't made the end. But one day
we know, and you've done. Was it Walking Dead World Beyond as well? So we know. We're telling everyone it was Alex. Whoever it said in the credits, it wasn't them. It was Alex who done it.
Oh no,
Um,
on that one I actually did much, but I think I actually did make the credits on that one. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. I don't know. Either way,
I, I've got to ask you, out of all the set, because you've got lots of different locations that you film in, which was something else that blew my mind, like getting locations to film in and getting permissions and film it, getting time slots and everything is really, really difficult. Out of all the segments, which was the hardest segment to put together? Which was the one that took the most set dressing and the most setup and the most time? And because all of these sets, I can tell that, like for example, the bookstore, you've desperately had your hand in there and you've made alterations to make that look how it looked. Like, what was the most challenging bit of it?
so the smartest thing we did when we filmed Krampus was we waited until Christmas time around here. So all of the decorations and stuff, that was the woman who owns the shop. She decorated like that. We came in one night and I saw all the decorate and I was just like, don't change a thing. Like we came in, I believe Akshay, our DP, he came in and put a few red and green lights on a few little bookshelves just to give it something.
Yeah.
But other than that, that was all just us just taking advantage of the time of year that we shot it. Um, but I say that one was probably the hardest. But because that one has full on scenes, right? Every one of these is just one scene, usually one setting. This one had
Yeah.
multiple settings, multiple setups, multiple locations. Um, and it went from day to night and then night, or it went from night to day. You know what I mean? So we had lighting changes and stuff like that. So it's just as far as like, you know, dealing with that. Cause like this one had continuity as well. So the makeup artist had to keep continuity from scene to scene, makeup continuities and stuff. So this one just felt, I guess, the most like a real film, like a real film does. There, you know, we treated it all like real film, like we were making a real film. But I
Yeah.
guess what I'm trying to say, this one had different scenes, different setups, so that one was the hardest.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think that one would be excellent as an expanded story. Like the concept of how the Krampus is in that with the gifting of the naughty, the name on the naughty list. Like that
mhm,
is so clever. It's almost like the button in Drag Me to Hell. It's almost like you pass the curse, and I, I
mhm,
I really like. I love Christmas horror. Christmas horror is one of my favorite things. Like we had Christmas Bloody Christmas, which I absolutely adored because it's full of the reds and the greens and the neons, and it's got that real Christmas vibe to it. And you produced that, and then by having a Krampus character, which I'm familiar with Krampus, I know who that is, but then to spin that
mhm.
character on its head and go, you don't know Krampus, this is Krampus, like that. It's such a good segment. I'd love to see that extended to an hour and 30 and give us lots more gory kills and like really go nuts. I'd love to see an extended version of that.
Yeah, it would definitely like. I'm hoping, you know, maybe Jason Blum will see this and then like throw me some money or something, you know.
Well, we joke, but it happens. Look at, for example,
It
Damien Leone.
does.
He started out with All
Mhm,
Hallows Eve, self-funded anthology horror. He then took the most popular and part of that anthology and made Terrifier, and now Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3, and he's now a high in demand. Studios are trying to throw money at him, and he's reached a point where he's like, "No, I don't want your money. I'm just going to do it myself because I got here on my
mhm.
own. I don't need you now." Like, jokes aside, this could quite easily be you in 4 years' time.
Here's hoping. Thank you. That would be amazing.
Well,
uh,
like, if you could sell this, like, if you were going to give the elevator pitch for your movie, elevator pitch, how would you pitch this to everyone watching? What would you tell them to make them go and watch your movie? Which the link is in the description, everyone.
uh, basically, so when I approached Victor about being in the movie because I knew I wanted him to be in something. I was like, I want you in some segment. I don't know which one yet, but you're gonna be in this movie. And he says to me, and he's like, "So what's the elevator pitch? Give me the elevator pitch." Like says that to me, and I go, "It's funny that you say that." Hey, I'm like, basically, and rides in an elevator with a producer, and every now and then he pitches her a horror movie idea, and she goes out and makes it. And he's like, "I want to be that." So I was like, "All right, hell yeah! Why didn't I think of that?" So yeah, that's my quick elevator pitch. Sweet old man rides in an elevator with a movie producer every now and then, pitches her horror movies ideas, and short
And
and
it
sweet.
works. It works so well, and like there are so many people involved in this movie. Like when I saw the credits roll, one of the ones who is prominent in this is your wife, who I'm assuming has supported you all the way through and helped get this to where it is now.
Are you referring to Elizabeth Betty?
That's who I assumed was your wife. Is that not your wife?
That is actually my mother.
Oh wow!
Yeah, yeah, that's my mom. Super supportive. Always has tried to make a go as a rock star in my dumbass youth. But yeah, she's always there buying me whatever I need for a guitar, all that jazz. But a lot of us were filmed in her house because to be an interior decorator. So a lot of her rooms are different themed and stuff like that. So Skin Book, that was filmed at her house. Krampus was filmed at her house. Um, the cold opener, that was filmed at her house. That's like her attic that she's coming out of. And that's all her Christmas decorations. I don't know if you noticed all of the Christmas and the blues and greens across every episode. That was unintentional at first, but then Risa noticed it and she was like, "Are you doing this on purpose?" And I was just like, "No, but now I am."
No,
So if you
I
notice,
wasn't.
there's green. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
greens and reds in every episode, and then there's full on Christmas imagery in some of them. Um, but
yeah,
yeah, no, that's my amazing mom. You know, and
yeah.
also
That
if you look right behind Haley's shoulder in Skin Book, that is a photograph of my mother on the like desk behind her. So that was
that
me, my mom in my movie.
that's incredible. Like I instantly assumed it was your wife. Apologies, I didn't mean to do that, but
No, 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 no. It's
the
okay.
the fact that it's your mum is so cool, and the fact that it's kind of like your mum supported you through trying to be a rock star, now bringing like into this as well. Like that's really cool. Like that is the best thing in the world because mums do everything for their kids. Like mums are the ones who whatever your dream is, however crazy it might be, they're the ones that are there. And to actually bring her in and like make her involved and use her house and like I imagine she's there going, "Does anyone want a drink? Are you all okay?" Like that to me makes this movie even more wonderful than it was 10 minutes ago.
She definitely was. For so the first couple of the episodes, she like stayed away. And she just kind of like was like, "All right, well, I'm going to be in this room. Just let me know when I can come out." But then once she started seeing the same, crew members we did one a month. Basically, we tried to stretch it out to where we did one a month. So like when she started seeing the same people coming over, that's when she started getting more comfortable and coming out. And then she would come out. "Anybody need anything?" You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But that's just my mother. She's born and raised in North Georgia. You know what I mean? That's just Southern hospitality through and through. That's her.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like everyone needs to go and watch your movie. Um, the link will be in this episode. If the movie is not released when this episode drops, I will put a link straight to Alex's page so you can go and follow Alex, turn on notifications, and then when the movie is released, it'll be there ready for you. Like I very rarely say to people, you need to go and see a movie. I very much let people make their own mind up. But you need to see this movie. If for nothing else, this is a great independent film that showcases multiple different types of makeup effects work. It showcases 7.5, a very frustrating half, I'm going to add, 7.5 unique stories that you've not seen before. And I've deliberately not spoken about all of them because there are some in here that I've left because they need to be surprises. Like there's some in here that you need
Yes.
that shock moment. One in particular that I'm just going to say the two doctors, like that shocked me to my core what that was and where that went. People need to go and see that. Alex, could you tell everyone where else they can find you so they can go and follow you on all the socials as well?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram and Twitter or X at AMPFX Studios, and then the YouTube channel is Scare Time Productions. It's a fake. I was fully made up. I made that logo up and everything. Scare Time Productions, so it's a fake movie production studio. That's where they work. So I just was like, you know what? I'm gonna make the YouTube too.
But
yeah,
like,
it'll
that's
be
cool. I love that little logo in the lift, like all the time. Like you can see the production company, and then when you've put that as the actual production company, when you get to the end credits, it's like this is the most genius marketing plan ever because it's there. You will remember it forever.
And then like just real quick, the positioning, how we positioned Malone in the elevator, it almost is as if she has a halo behind her.
Yeah.
And that up throughout certain episodes too. The Civil War one, when he stands and he's in front of the sun and the sun is behind him and it's like a halo. Akshay did a beautiful job. He did a beautiful job. I can't thank him enough for what he did. He also he edited, him and his brother. Yeah, man, he did a great job. He's going to go on to do great things. He's got a great eye. But yeah, you know, I sometimes have good ideas.
You've had lots of good ideas in this. Like I keep saying it, but it blew me away. Like I've seen doing what we do as a podcast, we get sent a lot of screeners, we get sent a lot of independent movies, we get sent a lot of movies from big studios, and the amount of big studio movies that we see on a screener, and then me and Mark have a conversation, go, yeah, we don't want to talk about that. Like it is mind blowing, and to get an independent movie that as soon as I finished watching it, I messaged him, Mark, have you watched it yet? And he's like, yeah, I've seen it. I was like, what bit did you like? What didn't you like? And like, he loved what he watched as well. And for us to agree is like, it never happens. Like,
yeah, that's hard.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to go and support this movie. Like, go and show Alex some love. I'm going to be sharing clips. You'll have seen some clips throughout this episode, but I'm going to be sharing stuff across our social media as well. So go and give us a follow on Instagram or on X. We're at You Run Podcast. And Alex, thank you for taking the time to come and talk to me about your awesome movie, Elevator Pitches.
Oh man, thank you so much for having me.
No problem at all. Until next time, when we're back for rapid reviews, thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you go and click on the link and go to Alex's channel as well. And we'll catch you all next time. Thank you very much.
From the shadows to the light, we'll judge every fearsome sight. Gore and chills all in one night. Tune in now, it's pure delight. Rapid reviews, here we go. Quick and snappy, watch us flow. Scary movies, yes or no. Rapid reviews steal the show.